Hi, I'm Skinny Cheeks, and today I'll be going over the Stamina Nightblade for the Harrowstorm DLC. This build will be based around a simple rotation I've come up with, and I'm hoping to release a part 2 to this at some point with a more advanced rotation. I'll go over the race and Mundus, gear, skills, rotation, CP, and end the video with a parse on the 21 million raid dummy. This build is good to go for the Harrowstorm DLC. One quick thing to note before I start: with the Harrowstorm DLC, Rapid Strikes is fixed to properly proc Selene, so it's a really good combo now. In a trial environment where Marcelot can reach its full potential, it should still outperform Selene, and it's a lot easier to bash weave it with Surprise Attack instead of Rapid Strikes. Luckily, this doesn't change the rotation at all. You can just sub in Surprise Attacks for Rapid Strikes if you want to go that route. If you don't feel comfortable bash weaving or you aren't able to sustain it with your group, I'd still go with Rapid Strikes in trials. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I was able to hit 88k with this setup. I did get some lucky crits, especially in Execute, but hey, I'll take what I can get. For the race, the top choice is Orc, followed closely by Dark Elf and then Khajiit. Redguard and Wood Elf are nice options for a lot of sustain with decent damage, and Imperial is nice for some extra health and a small bit of sustain. For Mundus, we're going with the Shadow, and then for Vampirism, it's not absolutely necessary, but it's nice to squeeze in a little extra sustain. For the gear, I'm going with 2 Selenes, 5 perfect Locustes with an axe and a dagger, Nirnhoned and sharpened on the front bar with damage health poisons. We're doing 5 perfect Reliquin on the body with all bloodthirsty jewels, Maelstrom bow with an infused weapon damage enchant. For the skills on the front bar, we're running Camo Hunter, Barbed Trap, Killer's Blade, Rapid Strikes, Relentless Focus, and Incapacitating Strike. On the back bar, we're running Camo Hunter, Endless Hail, Dark Shade, Ring of Preservation, Leeching Strikes, and Incapacitating Strike. The 2 Fighters Guild abilities are both flex spots on the back bar, so in a trial you could put on a heal or some other utility ability there. You can also run Poison Injection here in place of Ring of Preservation. A lot of people seem to do a little better running Poison Injection. I always seem to get better results without running it. It is one more dot that you have to keep up that's not on the same timer as your other abilities, so just keep that in mind. If properly executed though, it can be a slight DPS increase. Now I'll go over the rotation I used. You'll want to pre-buff with Leeching Strikes and Relentless Focus. Then you'll cast Endless Hail and Trap, and then you'll start your light attack weaving with your Shade. You'll do 2 Rapid Strikes on your front bar, followed by an end cap and then your bow proc. Then you'll spam 4 more Rapid Strikes and another bow proc, and then end the front bar with a couple of Rapid Strikes. From this point forth in the rotation, it's hard to write down the exact rotation because it is changing dynamically, but the gist of it is you apply Hail and then you do 13 abilities after that, and so you'll pretty much be spamming Rapid Strikes and your bow procs, and then whenever your ult is ready, you'll replace one of your Rapid Strikes with your ult, or if Barbed Trap or Shade needs to be reapplied, you'll replace one of the Rapid Strikes with one of those abilities. One important thing with your ult is to try to make sure your dots will be running throughout the full duration after you hit it, and so the whole time that your ult is up, you're just spamming Rapid Strikes and your bow procs. After 25%, you'll drop Rapid Strikes and start with Killer's Blade, and there's no need to shoot off your bow proc anymore at that point either. It may initially look like there's several abilities to keep up here, but I only had to cast Leeching Strikes at the very beginning of the rotation to sustain, and Trap and Shade are on pretty long timers, so you're not having to hit them very often. Overall, I found it to be one of the easier rotations to do. Now I'll go over the CP. I'm using 66 Master at Arms, 18 Thaumaturge, 61 Precise Strikes, 61 Piercing, and 64 Mighty. One more thing I wanted to make a note on is the set Aegis Collar. It does look like paired with Locustes, it's going to be a really nice option for trash and fights that have multiple priority targets. Well, that's going to be the end of this guide. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here is a parse on the 21 million raid dummy. Bye.